Scott Warner, Melodic Insights. You guys go to melodicinsights.com. The website's not even ready yet, but just go to that website anyway. Hopefully by the time this video, sign up for my newsletter. Okay, I'm going to send you guys sheet music and stuff that you guys can start working on, because I know I do a lot of crazy exercises, but I've been starting to write them out on a sheet music program, a software that I have. So I'm actually going to be like, maybe I even have an example. Let's see if I can show you. I hope I have it printed out so I can at least show you while I'm on camera, but I do not think I do. Yeah, I printed out the page, but I never put it in here, didn't I? Okay, but anyway, like, some of this music that I have actually transcribed and put my own. Yeah, I can't show it to you right now. But I put my own fingering in it, my own exercises and kind of stuff that I would like to show you. So today we're going to try to do a tutorial video. Okay, what can I teach you today? Let's just teach you something very basic just to get acquainted with the piano. I'm going to start this from beginner one, lesson one. Okay, we have no idea what a piano is. Okay, that's what this video is going to be. This is going to be the ground floor, right? For some of you that want advanced stuff, go to melodicinsights.com right now, right, to get already the advanced stuff. Right, sign up for a free account. Okay, maybe I'll have a free account there or something. Right, it's not even built yet. I'm telling you, it's gonna be cool, so you guys can download all this cool stuff. All right, so check this out. Okay, so what is that? That's a chromatic scale. Now I want to make sure you can see that. All right, so see, some people, I don't really sit middle C. I actually sit like kind of towards the E even. Well, actually, no, I don't. I do. I guess I do sit towards middle C now. But, you know what I mean, you might not be exactly like, you move around a little bit, right? Okay, so anyway, you have a pedal on the bottom that sustains note. And what a sustaining note is this. See how the sound continues, right? And this is a keyboard, but it mimics acoustic piano, right? Or if you hold it down. And then you wait to release. So you just might want to just practice that, right? Very simple, basic movements. One finger at a time. Try not to move the other fingers. I mean, you could go on longer. You could do it 8 times if you want, 10 times. Same time, both hands if you want. Hands together. And see how I'm starting on the 2 black notes? I'm starting right to the left of it. On the right to the right. That's how you find middle C. It's of two black notes in the middle and go to the left one. That's going to be your middle C. Okay? That's a reference point, right? And then right next to it is B, right? C, B. So it's C, B, A. As you're going down the piano, lower notes, right? Those are the bass notes. They're the high notes, right? So it's just a continued progression of ascending and descending, right? And it's a certain ratio, right? Like if you play guitar, like here's your E. Okay, maybe that's not a good example of actual guitar, but that's like the E string though. And like your range might go what, to here? Well, some of those actual guitars can go really high actually, but you can't go lower, right? This is like the lowest you could go, or maybe possibly here. Well, that might be where a bass guitar comes in. A bass guitar could kind of like do this range. But the point of this, so just getting acquainted like with the different movements. You also have different movements like with, like I could just like relax my wrist, like drop my shoulders. So I want to teach you what I'm doing right now. I'm playing you have things called scales, right? And you have something called a root note. So like C would be like a root note C, and then you go down to B, that's a root note B, right? So let's go back to C, okay? And then like if you take the scale of C, which is, everyone should know this. So that's the scale of C, okay? And then descending. Right, notice how I did one with just playing one finger, and then one I actually did like kind of a motion down, right? Right, so there's different hand patterns that you can memorize, right? And doing so. And notice how I was playing those different. I was actually playing it one staccato, which is, there's 4 different motions now how to play the piano, right? So it's like, you can scratch it, tap it, press and hold it, or press, hold it, and then hold it till you play the next note. Now, so if you take this scale, now there's no reference point if you're new to the piano except you have the 2 and the 3. So what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to use these black notes for our scale. And I'm going to show you what we're actually going to do. I'm going to teach you what is called, well, we're going to go down a half step. We're going to what's called steps, a half step. Okay, so this is, from here to here is a half step because there's no note in between. The next note is always a half step. So the half step to this note would be up here. And this is a C, this would be C sharp. Okay, from C sharp would be D. Okay, or D natural. That's a half step up, and a half step down would be back to the C. So what we want to do is move this whole scale, which is, remember, 8 notes before it repeats again. Remember the 2 black notes? Okay, so it's going to repeat again. So we're going to play 4 notes. That's our C major scale. Now what we're going to do is lower it. And this might even be hard for you. Like, you might just have to sit there for 1 hour maybe and just practice trying to hold your fingers like this. And you don't want to do that. But I mean, you see how I'm like isolating out fingers? You might not be able to do that, right? Right? You might not be able to do those kinds of things. So some of those takes hours and hours and hours and hours of practice, some of this stuff, okay? So I'm just showing you like just the basics. Like you just want to do 4 fingers, like and use the fingers I'm telling you to use, right? I mean, yeah, and you do want to explore with other fingers though, but if you play this, what you want to do is bring your pinky down here. Right, now you're stretching right here. And then do it up here, see? Right, get both hands doing it. Now what I started to do, how I started to make music, right, was I wrote this one half down, right? So I'm just practicing some kind of random exercises. And then what I did is, remember how I said bring this a half step down? See, I really brought this up a whole step. See how I skipped the black? Right, you can also make up chords out of it, but my point is, look. See how I made it a whole step? And then I actually came back and made it only a half step. So it's like a half step down from here and a half step up here. But these are both C's, right? That's an octave apart. That's when the key sequence repeats itself, right? Right. These are all repeating notes. And that would be called a chromatic scale. Watch, which is what I did in the beginning. Which you may want to learn that first right now, all right? Which I'll teach you real quick. 1 on C. For left hand, and then 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Every note, never, see the key for this one is no note is skipped, right? So you see, like doing these ones, there's actually some skips. So like if I want to bring everything down, and what I was going to do in that exercise that I was showing you before was gradually move everything to this key, right? One way or the other, I would have all come to this. See how there's like a 2 space for here, but there's like a half space, a half step. So doing chromatics is a good way to kind of visualize the board, right? To kind of see the pattern that actually comes out. You know, it's like your hand has to like do this, right? These repeat. So see how I just found this pattern and then I just repeated it. In other spots where the pattern's the same. Like one exercise I like to do. one's in B major, but the hand sequence is the same. And then sometimes there's even 3 for different ones. So see that? So in the major keys, there's actually 3. Like you have. So back to the C. Teach you how to come down this part. So it's 1, 2, 3, because you learned that part, right? This might take you hours. I don't know how long, right? So don't get frustrated if it's taking you a long time or you have to rest already. So 1, 2, 3, 1. I still mess up. Then you want to practice this one. Now notice how I wasn't even there. Now after you like kind of get it, now I try to make it even. Maybe add an extra note. See how I'm kind of making this extra movement? Sometimes you do want to do that, but you also got to pay attention to what's really the easiest movement. So you practice. Like you got to practice each little sequence. I'm telling you, this is a 4-note sequence now. The other one was a 3-note. Okay, this is for some advanced people real quick. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, now that was a etude number. It was a etude in Opus 25 in B minor. Okay, you'll figure that out. It's octave etude number 11, I think. Anyway, like you could go read that, but this is not a video for those people, right? But I'm saying like that's kind of like based off of this. You know what I mean? You know? They're just going up together at the same time. See, but I'm not teaching you up together at the same time because why? It would be opposite. See, I crossed over that way. But maybe I guess I could do that. So technically now I just proved it. You can cross this way. 3, 3, 1, and cross over 2. So like sometimes you do want to practice that because sometimes you might want to play a piece of music softly like that. Or no. And then 3, 1. Like I want this last part to be real smooth. So I might use 2 and 3 rather than 1 and 3, or you know what? I think you get that 1 and 3 down softly, right? Okay, so this is where you could go with that. So that's just basically taking chords, right? Everything is just going up 1 and 1, right? So that's why you start with the basic that doesn't sound as great, right? And go where it ends on your 2, okay? Which is going to be a B on this hand and F on this hand. this is a mirrored exercise, right? And sometimes there are keys that you don't do mirrored exercises for, which would be like this one. Now, as long as you do that as perfect pitch, does that sound right? Like a scale? Sorry, not the G. Notes, right? But the thing is, see, that sequence is in this hand. Right? See, so you could, so like that practicing would be like, see, and that's why I'd want to teach you this first, how to do this, and then know to come everything down to half. See, from G to here. And that's the scale I want you to learn first. Because this one requires you to have, you'll figure it out the fingering on your own because you want your thumb on these notes. But now your hand's going to be tired. But remember, the thumb's back to B major, which is from the version of this, right? Keep everything, the thumb on the beat, on the B and the E. I haven't changed from that. Everything I was just playing right now kept that sequence. I guess, well, when I was in the other keys, sure. But I was just showing you. See, this B major has all these keys in it, right? Because you have each chord. Like if you're used to the C major, right? See, that's a diminished chord. Just going downwards is diminished. So it takes you to the minor, right? But I'm still in the key though, right? Of C major. So what I'm staying in is the key of B major, which is these notes. That's why I was doing stuff up here. That was the only time I went out, see, but I was staying in this key, right? Like sometimes I would do, but I'm still in the scale though, see what I'm saying? So you're gonna learn how, that's how you're gonna go over different scales, like I was showing you, like this fingering, like for the, and then once you figure out the B flat major, Well, you also notice that has similarities to like the minor, like I was showing you. See, it's the same. 2 up top, 1 at the bottom. 2 up top, but one's minor, one's major, and one's the root. Right? This one's the root because the root of this one is actually here, not here. So I wouldn't really use that key though from B major because, well, I guess I could. It has a B flat. But no, I wouldn't because it has this, so I'd probably keep it as a diminished, right? I'd probably keep it as a diminished scale. And you know, in that scale in the beginning, that's probably just a diminished scale, isn't it? So maybe you guys did get me on that one. Leave it in the comments below. So I'm going to do scales within that key, right? So anyway... apply the thing. Oh, I was going to say your right hand's playing guitar, so you just practice the left hand. Remember, thumb on the E's and the E's and the B's. And when it's 2 black notes, it's these 2 fingers. When it's 3, you add the 4th finger in. So you remember, your 4th finger is always on this note, right? The first black of the 3, which is the F sharp in B major. When you're crossing over, here's a good exercise. If you have to cross over like this, you're gonna do 4 here and then 2 here. The other thumb in. So this would be 2 and then 3 practicing, right? Not 2 and 2, right? I wouldn't have you do that. Like, and sometimes they have you end like in F sharp or in B flat major. I mean D flat major. Say end on the 2, right? But no, I'm telling you, practice ending on the 3 because in any scale you're gonna. Gonna do next, right? It just sets you up better rather than having the 2 here. But sometimes you do want to end on the 2, right? Or no, I wouldn't. See, actually, I would still keep that finger because then it's gonna apply to every scale. Right? Trust me. Even though sometimes this might seem like a stretch, you should. So you want to practice like doing stuff like this too. Practice these stretches. Opposite would be, for right hand, would be E flat minor. Can you still see that? Yeah, you can. Which was it's just 4 and 5. By the way, I forgot to tell you the number of fingers. This was supposed to be the first video. Maybe it's too hard. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Right. 1, 2, 3. So if I'm saying 4 and 5, I'm talking about these 4 and 5, right? Ring finger and pinky. And that's all for today, I guess. Well, I mean, as far as this teaching, because I'm just going to keep going on and on. But anyway, melodicinsights.com, get more info, and learn more about piano, and be great.